Welcome, my name is Soulcool and this is part 2 of my Zero to Hero series. In this video I will be continuing our leveling journey. I am planning to reach level 20 in this video, but if the video becomes too long, I will need to take a break. With any luck we will be able to make it through Dead Mines. Let's start off by getting the Mountaineer Stormpike's task breadcrumb quest. This will lead to Filthy Paws, which will require us to pick up some mining gear in a mine directly east of the garrison that Stormpike is in. This quest should still be yellow for us, so this is a good opportunity to pick it up. Also, we will continue to level skinning and herbalism by harvesting the wildlife as we level. I also picked up the quest rat catching. This quest is green, but the tunnel rats in the mine will also count towards the progression of the quest. The quest is pretty simple and will require us to perform the grisly task of retrieving ears from the tunnel rats. Backspace is becoming the real obstacle, it would seem. Once we sell our first items on the auction house, I will obtain more bags. We will need 12 ears to complete the rat-catching quest, so I will stop by the camp to the west of the graveyard. Stormpike's garrison can be found in the most northwest part of the zone next to the passage to the wetlands. Let's get the follow-up quest Stormpike's order. This will involve us talking to a blacksmith in Stormwind. Here is the mine. Inside we will find stacks of boxes. Make sure to pick them up to complete the Filthy Paws quest. Nothing inside the mine should pose much of a threat to us, so we can safely walk through the main camp. As you can see, nothing here really poses a threat to us. Our Warlock is growing in power and will become a hero soon enough. That should be the last of the mining gear. Make sure to also get the rest of the ears needed. Once this is complete, we will turn in filthy paws and make our way back to town. Our first green robe? Nice. Let's equip it. Also, as we progress our armor, make sure to enchant a rune on the replacement piece. Now that we are in Felsamar, let's turn in rat catching. We will also pick up honor students and Iron Band's excavation. Once we take care of these things in town, we can make our way back down to the Valley of the Kings and continue the quest chain in defense of the King's lands. The third quest in the chain will require us to kill bone snappers and shamans, which can be found inside the cave. Once you enter the cave, you will want to turn right at the fork. They are located towards the back of the cave. As we progress deeper into the cave, we will have to kill seers and skull thumpers, which are not the correct targets but are worth some experience. You should be around level 16 now, and I have been adding the talent points to the demonology tree. I have taken Demonic Embrace, Fell Intellect, and I will proceed to take Fell Stamina. We have been leveling so quickly that I have not had a chance to stop by a trainer. Once I progress to level 30, I might change my specialty to Affliction so we can try out a different type of leveling. Bag space continues to be an issue, so once we finish this quest chain, we will make our way over to Ironforge and buy some bags and sell some items on the auction house. Continue killing bone snappers and shamans in this area of the cave until you complete the quest. The 3 trogs in the distance will need to be taken care of for the last quest in the chain, so we will make our way back here once we are done with the bone snappers and shamans. Now that we have completed the 3rd part of the chain, let's pick up the final part of the chain upstairs. We will make our way back to the cave where we were killing bone snappers and shamans. Personally, I took care of any trogs in the area to make sure I didn't attract any unwanted attention. The Fell God should be able to handle all 3 named trogs without any issues. Brilliant. Let's turn in the last part of the chain and make our way over to Ironforge so we can pick up some much needed bags. I will sell all of the leather, herbs, green items, and cloth we have found. At the time of the recording, bags on the auction house were more expensive than the ones sold at this vendor, so I bought them from the vendor. Now that this is complete, we will make our way over to Stormwind, where we will start to pick up Dead Mines quests. The 3 we will pick up are Underground Assault, Collecting Memories, and Oh Brother. We will do some light questing in Westfall to help boost our level a bit before going to Dead Mines. This shouldn't matter too much given the power level of characters in Season of Discovery, but I wanted to make sure I do the quests that I can in an area before they turn green, so I can level as fast as possible. At last, we are in Westfall. We will start by completing the quest Killing Fields. The quest might have just turned green, but that should be okay. Green quests should grant a fair amount of experience, and we should be able to complete the quest fast enough. I forgot to mention on the way to Westfall I picked up the Forgotten Heirloom quest. While we are completing the Killing Fields quest, you can make your way north to the house where it can be found. The quest giver can be found here. Once this is complete, we will make our way over to the Sentinel Tower. Let's turn in Killing Fields along the way and sell any unwanted items. The Defier's Brotherhood is a long quest chain that will require us to fly to Stormwind, then make a long walk over to Red Ridge. We will inevitably end up back here in Westfall. I have done this off camera, but I will not bore you with all of the walking and instead continue our leveling journey. I will pick up the messenger part of the Defias Brotherhood quest while we wait for our Dead Mines group to fill. The last quest will require us to go into Dead Mine and kill Van Cleef. It will reward us with a pretty good staff. After we have escorted the messenger to the Dead Mines, we will need to turn in the quest in Sentinel Hill and get the final part of the quest. We finally found a healer, so we are ready to head into the Dead Mines. I left the Fell God's Taunt on to see how it can stand up to elites in the dungeon and see if it can do a bit of tanking. In Phase 2, I remember Hunter Pets being one of the strongest tanks in the game, but I wasn't sure if Warlock Pets were the same. Luckily, the group was able to help with the quests Oh Brother and collecting memories. These two quests are on the left side of the Dead Mines as you enter. They will require us to grab mining cards off some of the ghouls and a medallion from a named ghoul. So far, our damage looks great. I am typically casting Shadow Flame on each target and using a Haunt on cooldown. I will add a Curse of Agony and Corruption if the target has a fair amount of hit points. Now that these two quests are complete, we can head into the Dead Mines dungeon. It's been a while since I leveled a character in Season of Discovery, so I will be interested to see how early level groups handle dungeons. So far it would seem we are powerful enough to roll right through elites. I have a feeling we could get overwhelmed, but we will see how it all turns out. Our damage is looking pretty good so far. We seem to be blitzing right through the dungeon. It wouldn't seem our healer will have to rest after pull, so the dungeon clear speed should be pretty quick. Let's take a look at the first boss and see how we match up. I'll have the Felguard focus on the elite so they don't attack our healer and help out our tank. That went very smoothly. Our healer has almost full mana and the tank was never in any real danger. The Fel Guard seemed to stand up to the elites without any issues as well. I am starting to feel powerful. I missed some of the mining cards for collecting memories, so we will see how the Fel Guard can handle elites outside of the group. We made it to the second boss. Our healer looks like they are pretty low in mana when we start the fight, so we will see how this goes. It seems we pulled a few extra goblins when attacking the boss. In vanilla, this would most likely be a wipe, but our characters are very powerful for this level. I kind of enjoy the power creep, but at the same time I would like a challenge, and so far I haven't experienced one. From what I remember in the earlier phases, Warlocks could solo most content with tank runes, but specialized into Affliction for Siphon Life. Around level 35 is a good place to try some solo content, because it's right before level 40 incursions. Personally, I think the Foundry Room is one of the hardest parts of the Dead Mines dungeon in vanilla. You can quickly get overwhelmed by the robots that the goblins summon. We will see how we do in this room. The third boss is usually not an issue, but I think the goblins leading up to him are more of a challenge. By this point, I started to get a little bored, so I would be a little more daring with my Fel Guard, and I would have him pull some of the mobs before the tank would engage with them. It seems to be going pretty smoothly. We can typically engage with 3 or 4 elites without much of an issue. Here is the third boss. We also have seemed to pick up additional goblins, but we should be able to take care of these like we did with the second boss. Season of Discovery is pretty forgiving when it comes to the earlier levels, and it seems it's mostly about the fun and experiencing vanilla with a lot of power creep. I am kind of on the fence about the experience so far. On one hand, I think the new spells and abilities are great. The developers have breathed so much viability into the classes, but at the same time it's removed so much of the challenge that vanilla would bring. The third boss has multiple stun phases, and I am interested to see if our damage over time spells can kill him during the stun phase. We will see. After we have killed the elites by Mr. Smite, we will focus on him. You want to kill the elites first because during the stun phases you can still be attacked by the elites, which can cause the tank to die because the healer can't heal them. At this point in the dungeon, the tank had to take a phone call for work, so the Felguard is the only tank. I wanted to show this part so you could see how strong the Felguard is during the earlier levels. Given most of the other party members are not doing crazy damage, the Felguard can maintain threat pretty well. Here is the fourth boss. I am hoping he drops the staff because it will be a decent upgrade. Nice, the staff dropped, and we won the roll. Feels good. Although, it's not a huge upgrade and doesn't have plus to spell damage on it, I think it's so iconic that it makes your character look cool. Anyway, let's wrap the dungeon up with the last boss, Van Cleef. Now that he is dead, we will loot the head and letter so we can turn them in for experience. Once we turn in the Defias Brotherhood quest, we can then fly back to Stormwind and turn in the letter quest. The letter quest should lead to a quest in the Stockades, I believe. Now that we landed in Stormwind, let's see how our auctions did. I hope we made some profit and can start our gold-making journey as well. It will be nice to have a few hundred gold by level 60 so we can buy some starter-level gear. I think that was about 5 or 6 gold. Perfect. We will continue to sell items on the auction house, and now that we have more bag space, we won't have to struggle so much with inventory management like we did in the beginning. Don't forget to train your weapon skill while you are here. Since we won the Ember Spark Staff, we will equip it now. We will also attempt to sell any green items we picked up in the dead mines. You can sell any other gathered items as well. I think this is a good spot to take a break. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, please let me know if you would change anything about the format. Maybe it's too long or too in-depth. In the next video, I plan to raid Black Fathom depths and squeeze in a Stockades run. Also, if you liked the content, feel free to subscribe and give a like. Bye for now.